Hello, Leah. Terrific job, really. Your website is so detailed, and your annotated wireframes, your updated wireframes. I see how you followed them after you had adjusted them. Really nice set of ingredients in your submission, from your wireframes to your browser testing. I was about to say, nice simple way of presenting this to me. What about code validation? Did you use a code validator? Just curious to know. Here's your website. It's atmospheric. I think you've used the corporate palette to great effect. This persistent red, which is not only in your typography but also in your images. Red and gold, I would characterize your palette as. And you have used the corporate palette colors. Nice to see a transparent logo that you've got there. Consider SVG file format. It's a vector file format that supports transparency. I like the way you've contained your type, and it looks like you've got some breathing space around it. It doesn't butt up to the edge of the box. There's a little hairline here. I don't know if that was intentional or not. Might want to just move it up. I see you made the effort of making these collages, presumably in Photoshop. I mean, I'm not suggesting you do this for this class, but how great it would be to make this HTML type that would be editable. That way you wouldn't have to go back into Photoshop and change, say, prices. I see you have other child pages, with great content. You've got a nice footer with social media links, dummy social media links. Great job on that. And there's not a lot of photography, but I think what you have used is very atmospheric, as I said before. When you use Chinese characters, make sure that you're saying the right things. It's like tattoos, right? And once you're assured that you're not insulting anybody, make this large. Make this like a chop mark or a seal. Which I see that in your menu too. You have included Chinese characters. So great job on that. Where did you find this? Online somewhere? This is very ambitious, and kudos to you for attempting to do an HTML CSS menu. It's very extensive. I can only imagine the hours and hours that it has taken you to get to this point. I think just in general, I'd like to see, well, I like that there's photographs here. Maybe if you err on the side of text or imagery, I would err on the side of imagery. Okay, just for this, but it's nicely formatted. It's consistent. The only other suggestion I might have is if there's any way you can get the navigation bar to stay stuck to the top and everything else to scroll. Because if I get down towards the bottom, I'm losing the navigation. It's not a big deal. There's not a lot of scrolling, on any of your pages. Maybe the menu page is the most, but it would be good to be able to get back up to the top quickly. I know I'm missing things here, so I'm going to exit out for a minute and take a look around. Yes, okay, so your annotated wireframes. Here they are. I see all the changes you made out of necessity. Also, too, in the 7.1 discussion, I note that you had some difficulty, I think, positioning things precisely, but you used an external CSS well. Let me take a look at your code here. Let me go back to the home page. And I see that you've got, an external style sheet. It looks well formatted. It's quite extensive, too. Have you been able to use the corporate typefaces? Just curious about that. Your file naming conventions are okay. You might be careful about using, well, that's not a special character, but if it were a math symbol, the X sign, you might have problems. In general, you've kept your file names lowercase with the 3-letter extension. Be consistent about that. Here I see a cap sneaking in there. It's a small thing, but it will help you in the end if you are careful about the details. And I see that you began with an unordered list, which became your navigation, your very capable navigation, and that it's beautifully formatted. Leah, I went back to week 5, and I do see ample evidence of code validation, so good job on that. Leah, this is your week 3 first milestone, and it's it was a sitemap, a visual sitemap, right? This is like a table. I guess this is contents below it. I think now you have a better understanding of what a visual sitemap might be. An important thing, also a coded sitemap, which I know you understand because you have an unordered list that became your navigation. Well, Leah, I'm going to leave you here, but really nice job on everything, and I've enjoyed your contributions to the class.